Okay, quiet in the studio. It's a great day today. It's a great day for the people of Scotland as well. Well, if everybody's up to date, Hamza Yusuf has resigned. Yay!
Yay!
And that's for the people of Scotland. I'm telling you. Anyway, we know that we have Statsman in the house. Mark Hartley, say hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are we, boys? Hope you're all well. You fine patriots.
Oh, yes.
Hang on. Big, lovely hello to our listeners. Can't forget them, can we?
They love you, Stats. They love you. Okay.
Yeah, well, someone's got him.
And to that wonderful man, the Gazelle, a.k.a. Mr. Trevor Nicholls. That man that's standing in that ward, in that awful place called Warrington, which is under the control of some really, really idiotic people. We have Mr. Trevor Nicholls. Say hello, sir.
Excuse me, Mr. Landlord. Let me just correct you there. It's not the awful ward. Yeah, it's not the awful ward. It's the Orford ward. Thank you. Anyway, yo to all the kids, and good evening to all the adults, all the ladies and gentlemen listening, and yo again to the kids. Get to bed.
Yeah. And everybody knows who this is. This is the most wonderful digital pub landlord.
Oh, here he goes.
We haven't. Hang on, we've got rid of Steve. What are you on about?
He wasn't the landlord. The Raven
was.
was.
A few months to get rid of him, but we didn't in the end.
Yeah, we got him. He's been plucked. All right, okay. Humza's gone.
Hey,
quick comments on that?
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Well, who do you think's gonna come in behind him? Is it going to be Swinney? Is it going to be Forbes?
I don't know, but I bet the white.
Oh, he'll hate that, won't he? One more white person in a white country. How dare they?
One more white.
Well, the memes...
Richie's going, and he'll be replaced by somebody white. Somebody white will take over from Richie.
Well,
brilliant.
The memes are coming in now. His face has been plastered on a quick food restaurant and also outside the job centre.
Hey, well, he did last a little bit longer than Liz Truss, so it's not all bad.
Over a year.
I was just going to mention that. Then we were talking to Alex Hammond earlier on TV News, and they said, "Come on, Alex, come on. What do you think? Was he better than Liz Truss?" He said, "Well, let's put it this way: it was like 12 lettuces, wasn't it?" Rather than one lettuce, he did 12 lettuces. He got 12 months out of it, didn't he?
Oh, God. Well, I think Scotland is breathing a sigh of relief. I mean, he made the biggest mistake of his life, political career, by doing what he did to the Greens. I mean, this is what's prompted all of this. It was a little bit arrogant, really, in his way that he treated them. At least the Greens were going to actually put it out for a democratic vote. He just decided autonomously, we're no longer going to honor the Butte Agreement. And that was it. Boom. Goodbye.
Well,
I should imagine that our correspondents in Scotland will be jumping for joy and wanting to get onto the show to talk about this. But we've got other things to talk about. How about, I'm going to ask this question now, is it a crime in England to be white and patriotic?
Then I'll ask the Gazelle.
I was just going to say...
The police been round yet?
I'll pass on this one.
I'll answer it. No, but yes.
Yeah, but no, but.
It depends if the police been round yet, Trev, or are we all right?
I had an email off a journalist today.
Oh,
What's his name? And he was saying to me that he was the journalist, actually, who interviewed our candidate for... Mark Sutherland, his name. He does a show called The Mark Sutherland Report.
Was it a podcast?
I'm not quite sure what it is. There's all different angles that it comes from. He does podcasts, he does clips in papers, etc., etc. And he said to me, if we can get together and we'll do an interview, because he did an interview with Mark Butcher from Blackpool South, who's standing for reform at Blackpool South. He said, and I have links and I can get you into the papers.
Oh, he has contacts, has he?
I should say I'm already in them, sunshine. I'm famous.
And he said, "I'll get you in the local papers." What good's that to me? I'm a star. I'm in the nationals. I'm not in the local papers.
Yeah, maybe just check that interview with your mate first, just to see.
Yes.
Yeah, but
your advisor.
Yeah, so we'll see what happened there. But yeah, so he can get me in the papers, can he? Well, I think I've already beat him to that one.
Well, yes, indeed. Right. Well, let's move on to another little thing that's going on, and that is that Royal Mail are saying that taxpayers should be on the hook for a multi-million-pound bill to help them deliver post. How about that?
What?
Taxpayers could be on the hook for a multi-million-pound bill to help Royal Mail deliver post. The 500-year-old postal service, which this month became a takeover target, has urged the government to contribute to the cost of distributing letters.
Yeah, probably to pay for the trial that's going on. That's what it'll be for. Paying for the postmasters. That's what they're after. Well, taking a big bit out of that.
Well spotted.
Well, I think...
do we deliver it?
No, that's Royal... Well, that's the post office you're talking about. This is Royal Mail. This is to do with the service that they deliver. They're under what's called a universal service obligation. And basically to deliver everything around the country, doesn't matter where it is, for the same price. So whatever the price is of a first-class letter now, doesn't matter where in the country it's going to. It actually, if it goes to anywhere in Britain, it costs that amount, and it's universal. Whether it's just round the corner from your house, first class, local, or to the other side of the country. And they're saying that the cost of maintaining that service is costing them £675 million a year. All right?
Well, if they can't compete, back down.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And if they say, well, they're universal and we can get it to the other side of the country, well, I can assure you, I run a business and I can send anything to any side of any area of this country for a price. And that price is not that much above
what the Royal Mail are getting.
What the Royal Mail are charging. So if they can't compete, leave the industry.
Well, no, if they can't compete, there's something wrong with the way that the service is being operated.
Well, exactly. Or look at your service then. Yeah, good point. But the point is, why should taxpayers pay for it again? We don't pay for DPD, do we? We don't pay for Hermes and the rest of them. So why should we pay for Royal Mail? All right, if you can't hack it, get out the industry.
It's just that you see, it could also be that they're angling at the top of the company to be sold off. Because if they've got, shares in the company, they're obviously going to make a lot of money. There could be a lot of manipulation going on behind the scenes.
Oh, right, yeah, I can see that.
So there's those things that you got to take into consideration.
That would surprise me in England. Yeah. Never thought of that. Gosh.
Well,
ripping us off.
Here's another one. This is good news. And Mark will like this one.
Oh, go on.
A social worker that was suspended by her council bosses over her belief a person cannot change their sex was awarded damages of £58,000 after winning landmark harassment claim.
The irony of this, you see, they've been using the Equality Act to push this stuff on people.
Yep.
It's the Equality Act which has come to our rescue.
Indeed.
So, suck them eggs.
Well,
they're also banning chest feeding in the NHS, so slowly but surely, but
we're getting there.
Yeah, we're reversing it, yeah. And I think we were actually, I know I did it as a joke, but we were actually one of the first to highlight that chest feeding issue.
Yep.
We brought that to the fore.
It's definitely a breast, not a chest.
Well, here it is. Okay. And this is from a story in the Daily Mail. The social worker of 20 years was then suspended by Westminster City Council, and bosses launched a disciplinary investigation and warned her she could be sacked for misconduct for these views. She was issued with a final written warning after a year-long suspension in which she claims she was bullied into silence when trying to speak up for women's rights during the government's consultation period on reform to the Gender Recognition Act. Now, it's strange, really, that when you hear about something like this, that a court would actually it was an employment tribunal, called for both the council and the watchdog to train their staff in the principles of freedom of speech.
That's another thing they proclaim to be following and don't. The thing is, these people are thick. Why are so many people thick? Right, there's already been a case like this.
Yep.
There's already a precedent. So before they went and sacked her and said all this nonsense, maybe just look it up. Jeez, honestly.
It is. It's frustrating, isn't it? I mean, and what's going to happen in Scotland now? They've got rid of Uber, whatever his name is, right?
Uber.
So now he's gone, right? So what's the first thing that's going to happen when the next person who's white, they're going to be white. The next person who gets in there, they're going to drop this hatred act. That's going to be taken out and through the same as the thing with that bloke with a willy.
Yeah.
When they tried to put him in a woman's prison and that soon got back healed. So the same's going to happen with this hate speech thing. They're just going to back heel it. The first person who gets in, or the next person who's going to be white, once they get in, they'll just drop it.
Oh, I like your optimism, but they've been working on this for years.
Yep.
I'm not so sure.
The Greens, innit? It's only the Greens who put it in.
No, this was actually Hamza himself. He was the legal beagle at the time, wasn't he? He was the one in charge of this. And then he took control and forced it through.
All right, well, somebody will take control and force it back again, I should imagine. Yeah,
maybe you're right.
That's what I think. That's the first thing that I think is going to be sorted out.
Need repealing, won't it?
Yeah, they'll just repeal it. As soon as they get in, the next person that gets in will just repeal it.
Well, if Hamza's gone, there's a chance that Rishi is going to follow suit because MPs fear Penny Mordaunt will seize the power if Rishi loses the local elections on Thursday.
Mordaunt?
Penny Mordaunt.
She's white.
Honestly, she isn't, is she?
It's going to be a meltdown. Oh, God, on Twitter, it's going to be amazing.
God.
You know, they're going to be going nuts. If Sadiq Khan loses as well, I mean, that would just be phenomenal.
Well, they say it comes in threes. Fingers crossed, eh?
Well, here's another one that Mark will like. It isn't only Little Englanders who want to tackle illegal immigration.
Who else is it? Go on, surprise me.
Well,
Lefty.
It's Ireland. They want to actually send people back to England.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
Lucky, suck it up.
You know, and our man has turned around and said, well, when the French take theirs back, then we'll take them back from you. And the Irish are going nuts because it's massive problems over in Ireland.
I do feel sorry for the Irish because they're already having problems and they probably don't need more. But I mean, you know, it's only fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
These lefties can't keep making these rules up and being hypocrites. They're getting busted left, right and centre.
But anyway, okay, we're moving on to patriots. And as I said in the beginning, now, is it illegal to be white patriot in this country now? Is it?
Well,
I'm proud to be English. I'm also proud to be American as well. But I'm proud to be English. And St. George's Day, there wasn't the same kind of attention to it in London as they gave to Eid, with our little squirt friend, who I've been having a go at on Twitter.
The only things that happened in London is they were attacked. They were kettled.
Yes. Go ahead, Mark.
Absolute disgrace, this country.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
It's this mind virus again, isn't it? Hate your country, your flag and all kinds. Like you said, I mean, Eid, massive thing, Paddy's Day, Pride, that's all celebrated in England, not a problem. There's flags everywhere and stuff. But you've got these little commies who hate their own heritage. Yep. And then, we were actually born here, and then you've got some of these others of other races who are just race baiters, and they're just jumping on this, to be honest. I remember when we were young, we were proud. Yeah. Britain, in school, you were told of all the good things Britain did. Although we didn't really celebrate St. George's Day massively. So I think all this is backfiring now on these haters.
Oh, yeah.
Because now we are. So as I said to them, the longer you moan about the flag, the more I put up and the longer they stay up.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But the thing that's really made me laugh is how uneducated and uninformed these people are.
Oh, no, definitely.
So we've had some cracking examples.
It's
the current thing again, isn't it? It's let's be controversial because that's all they can do. So even St. George's Day is a problem. So St. George isn't English. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. Apparently he's Turkish, even though that was before
It was actually Rome.
Well, he was a Roman soldier, but he was born in Cappadocia, which they're saying is Turkey. Well, it wasn't at the time.
No.
So anyway, he was adopted by the English as a role model, someone to call on in times of need. Most countries have them. We'll get this one. Ireland, St. Patrick, where was he from? He was actually from Britain. So I can use their logic and I'll say he was English, even though that was before England was even a thing. But we'll go with that one, Kevin Maguire. We'll come back to it in a minute. So it was his reputation for virtue, holiness, strength and courage that made him popular. And it was throughout Europe. It was a Christian thing. He was a figurehead. Now, he was tortured and beheaded by the Romans for not denying his faith, which was Christianity, in Israel, which at the time the Romans called Palestine, right, to insult the Jews. So, of course, to the lefties, he'd be out on the streets now protesting with all them nutters. And this is a cracking one. So they're mocking us because he fought a dragon. Jesus, honestly, these people are thick. Like, no one believes he did that. In the Middle Ages, dragons were commonly used to represent the devil. So it was to represent the fight between good and evil. And people really just don't understand mythology, legends, or the Middle Ages whatsoever. Now, I think they're the ones who should be mocked for being so uninformed and ridiculous. Yeah. And I think most of this silly behaviour can be cured by, I don't know, maybe read something, but TikTok though, isn't it, bro?
That's if they can read.
Well, this is the problem. They're all on TikTok going, he's not from England. Yeah, wow. I mean, he was English kings and crusaders adopted him and his cross. Shakespeare immortalised him and he was used in battle cries.
Yeah.
He's a figurehead for England.
For England and St. George.
It was actually St. Edmund back in the early Anglo-Saxons. But obviously the kings have adopted someone who's a bigger figure. I just think, be a bit more grateful about the country that have let some of you in and given you everything.
Well, the way that they're actually...
because of your skin colour, but you're attacking us for what made this country great.
They're actually... What they're actually doing, they're attacking a country, but they won't leave it, though, will they?
No, but it's not doing any good.
They're ashamed. They're ashamed of this country. But they won't leave, though, will they?
No, but look, it's not doing anything. We pushed all their tweets down on Twitter, wasn't it? They weren't even trended. All their comments are just full of people defending England. So what is the point of them? Why don't they read the room? I know what the point is. They're after attention. Because if they don't get negative attention, they're going to get none. And this is how they make their money. It's embarrassing, really, to be honest. Because the problem was, though, they were given a little nugget, weren't they, by the Met Police. So after Tommy Robinson had been let off with the hatchet stitch-up job the Met tried to do on him, there was a St. George's Day event. Now, the police blocked the road.
Yeah.
Going down to the event. Some people came down a road that joined it, but for some reason they wouldn't let this group come past that cordon and join the other people behind the cordon to go to the area an hour early. So, of course, this was probably done to get a reaction, and it did. All right, there was probably 20 or 30, 40 people who pushed through the police, but of course it was a big fight. The far right are in town.
And the far right were there, yeah.
So that's what they do, and the media whip it up, and then, of course, the far right have ruined St. George's Day and blah, blah. And then all the people there for the event were labelled as the same as the people who pushed some police. I mean, if that's a fight, man, these people...
Oh, don't talk about the police. The Met Police are an absolute joke. Even other police forces around the country think that they're a joke. If you get into a private conversation with other police, say, for example, especially around Merseyside and stuff like that, they just say, oh, they're a joke. Okay?
It's common sense. I understand there was a certain route to follow because it was an event in a static place, and they're using the excuse it had become a march. No, people will walk into the area. It's St. George's Day.
Yeah, but they don't do anything. They do nothing to the Palestinians, Palestinian protesters. They do nothing to them, even though they're wearing masks. They're actually holding up offensive messages.
John, the police just need to go back to common sense policing. Half the crowd were behind them trying to get to the area. Why didn't they just let them through? There would have been no problem. They were all going to the same place. They stopped that group for a reason. I think we know why.
Yeah, go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, of course they do. what you're saying there, Jonathan, is it's a joke. Well, it's not a joke, is it? It's very, very serious, this. You've got London at the minute. London is completely separated from the country.
Yep, totally. The police have lost the credibility and the
police
belief.
have lost the credibility. You've got a Muslim mayor, and I can't say he's Polish. I can't say he's whatever he is. He is a Muslim mayor who is giving Eid lights, celebrations and everything. He's got the whole of his police force.
It's favoritism.
And he was actually picked up on one tape. Now, whether it was fiddle, whether it was AI, I don't know. But he said, it's okay because I've got them in my pocket.
Yeah.
On about the Met Police.
Yeah.
So London itself is isolated from the rest of the country.
And why?
You've got the people in Westminster that haven't got a clue what's going on. They're stuck within Parliament.
Yeah.
They haven't got a clue how the rest of us are living. And you've got London itself that's completely alien from the rest of the country. You've got a minority of the indigenous whites in there.
Indigenous? Or you mean indigenous?
And them as well. And you've got a load of them in there. And no, but London itself has become isolated from the country.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know why tourists are coming because it's a dangerous place now. It's a dangerous place. Yeah, I think London should be boycotted. Get Khan out. Right? Even the Londoners hate him. There is such a campaign to get rid of him. It's not funny. Well, the guy can't even. That guy can't even walk round or take a train ride or go on the tube without minders. That's how safe it is in London. If he can't go without minders, well, then in that case, then London's not a safe place to be.
Why can't we get rid of him?
Well, it's down to the Londoners. There are more Londoners than Muslims in London. There are more Londoners, more indigenous white people, more indigenous black people. You know,
no, there's not. No, there's not.
There is.
No, officially,
they can't. In all the areas that are actually going to be voting, you know, they can vote him out. We're not falling out, but on that statistic, they turned about 2 years ago.
I think you're just getting a little confused because it was actually people who were white ethnicity. So that includes Irish, English.
Yeah.
They're included. But I think John was saying some of the black people who were actually born here.
Yeah.
Identify as British and English.
They identify as British and they are British.
Not ethnically, but what John's saying, more people feel English than there is Islamic. But
yeah,
will they come out and vote? This is the problem.
That's it. They've got to come out and vote.
Some communities are tribal.
Well, so, I mean, I've got to say as well that there's no opposition out there. We've got Howard Cox, and we've got
Susan Hall.
What we need, I mean, that's Susan Hall. Forget it. She's just a sod all, as far as I'm concerned. You've got Howard Cox. I don't think he's going to turn it round. Now, what we needed was Jeremy Corbyn to stand.
Yeah.
As an independent to completely split the vote, and that's obviously why he's not. Or we needed George Galloway to stand, as he said he was going to, but obviously he's been elected to Parliament now. And that's where the failure was. If either one of those two had stood...
Yeah, he'd have been out.
Yeah, he'd have been out. But as I see it, I can't see Susan Hall winning that.
Well, I'm hoping that, because it's London and Greater London...
Well, we're all hoping.
Yeah, I'm hoping that everybody from all the surrounding areas where ULEZ is going to be spread out as well, when they vote... They actually come out and vote. They get rid of this guy because he is bad news. I'm not going to be bothered with London. I will personally boycott London if this guy gets back in again. I'm never going down there, and I'm never going to spend money with them. Yes, I will go to Westminster, but that's it.
I can only see him getting in, and when he gets in, and when Labour get in, which they will do, if you looking at the polls, they will do, then if you think ULEZ is bad, that's going nationwide. As soon as Labour get in...
It's the only way that they can make money, pay per mile.
Andy Burnham has already tried it and he got back healed. But if Labour get in, you've got it. And it'll cover 60 square miles.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
England should be the prime example of London should be the prime example of Englishness. I actually think it's too late now to reverse this. I think you've got no chance. I just want to go back to the whole hating England thing. I mean, I want to give some examples of what some of these people have said before we get sidetracked with Khan. We've got a few examples, so I can't even say a name. Shola, we know who we're talking about, don't we? Yeah.
Shola fish.
Yeah, so obviously she thinks St. George will be rolling in his grave and chanting from the river to the sea. I don't think so. Yeah, he died for Christianity, so no. Now we've got Narinda. What's her name? Narinda Kaur or whatever. I think she's one of the worst ones out of all of them.
She criticises, but she won't disappear.
Yeah, she thinks Mick Lynch should be running the country while communists. Oh, brilliant, my love. Apparently, Rule Britannia was written about the slave trade when it wasn't. Yeah. And funnily enough, she does her best to look like an Anglo-Saxon, but she really doesn't like them. I actually saw her on, I think it was James Whale. James Whale said, I'm a patriot. I put my flags out. She said, no, you're not. Apparently, the England flag would be better if it was more progressive and inclusive. And she loves the Nike one. This is what I was saying before. She wants to cause controversy. You know what I mean?
Stop giving her the breath of oxygen.
But what she doesn't realise is a flag isn't about progressive and inclusivity. It's about representing a country and its people who should all come together under the same
flag. Yeah.
And we have this one of the worst people, I think. And you don't like him, Kevin Maguire.
Oh, that guy's all right.
So, according to him, England's plastic patriots would shackle migrant worker born in what is now Turkey. See what they're doing again on a one-way flight to Rwanda if he tried to enter on a boat. They just make up these hypothetical situations and then just you roll it. It's just pathetic. A lot of this comes from the likes of the HuffPost who push all this stuff out.
No, if St. George came across on a boat, then we'd shackle him and we'd send him off to Rwanda.
Apparently.
Well, if he was a migrant, probably. Because he's come from Turkey, has it?
They're just joining all these random dots. They say it's a bleak coincidence that on the day the UK celebrates an international saint, yeah, fair enough. So it's not just us. The government is celebrating cracking down on asylum seekers. How are them two things related at all?
They're not.
From over 1,000 years ago. Longer, in fact, nearly 2,000.
You had, Kevin Maguire, he's just another example of Owen Jones. And where's Owen Jones gone now?
Oh, his persona non grata, no?
No, he's withdrawn from the Labour Party, hasn't he?
That's right, he's persona non grata.
I don't know what that means. I just know he's left the Labour Party.
It means that nobody wants to know him.
All right.
So he started defending Hamas, kind of, didn't he, in his own little way, and it's not gone down well at all. Another one, why do people hate their own country and hate everything about it? I just don't understand it, to be honest.
You see what America are doing? They're starting to arrest Palestinian protesters.
Yeah, because they're occupying university grounds. You're not allowed to do that. It's trespassing, so you've got to leave.
Yeah, that's it.
But they're all in up arms. Oh, you can't do this. If this was in Iran or Russia, it'd be all over the news. One, it is all over the news. And two, you're trespassing off your pop.
Yeah.
Well, on about the St. George celebrations in London, they arrested three people for wearing face masks. They arrested 3 people for wearing face coverings. And yet you've got how many did it the week before and how many will do it next week and the week after. Yep. And they're not arresting any of them. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's enough now. It's enough.
It is enough.
You've got to sack all these people and put patriots in. Yeah. A bit like what they were trying to do with Brexit, where Boris was forming a government. He was getting people in who actually supported Brexit. And, all right, we didn't quite get it, but, it was probably the best we would have got, surrounded by Ramonas. You've got to do this. You've got to walk in and you've got to say, no, you're not good enough. You've got to go. You're not running the police. Right, sit down, interview. You patriotic? Will you do this, this, and this? Yes, right, you've got the job. And if you don't, you're fired in 6 months. It's as simple as... We've got to get brutal here now. It's got to...
Yeah, but that's
the right thing, isn't it?
Well, it's the same again, Mark. You've got to get the right people in the right jobs. And as Richard Tice says, which I completely agree with, that, you need people to come from, like I say, a military background instead of Sir Roly-Poly. I don't know where he comes from. I've not even looked at his background, and I don't really care because he's just not got any balls.
No.
And to be in that job, you've got to be a good manager, and you've got to be, you've got to rule with a full discipline. It's as simple as that.
You've got to rule with an iron fist.
With an iron fist. Well, I was trying. I pulled back from that particular comment, but you've got to rule with discipline. It's as simple as that. And you get somebody who comes out the army, they've had discipline all their life. I mean, you've got somebody like this Sir Roly-Poly, and, well, we're going to have words with him. We're asking him, to consider his position. And then you've got Khan coming in saying, well, he's got my full confidence.
Has anybody ever seen that series, Life on Mars.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, we need Gene Hunt in charge.
We
don't
need
we?
Gene Hunt. We need him there. I mean, you know what?
Problem
so
solved.
unpolitically correct, and the things that they used to do in those days was just fantastic.
Yeah, and flying around with the Ules with his Ford Capri.
I know.
What they don't realise is criminals are actually criminals. They're not good people. You need the police to be as ruthless as they are, which is what they used to be. All right, some of the tactics, they weren't great, I'll admit. But you can adapt them slightly, but you've got to be above the criminals.
You've got to be ahead of them.
You've got to be. You've just got to be as ruthless as they are.
They appear
by asking them nicely. Oh, please don't.
The police today appear to value the rights of the criminals over the people that have been offended.
Victimhood mindset again.
I know, and you just sit back and you just, well, you shouldn't actually be complaining about them because they might have had a very poor upbringing. Well, my view to that is go bleep yourselves. You know,
yeah, I mean, they're climbing the war memorials and they're saying, "Come down, come down." I'd have tasered them. I'm telling you, I'd have gone.
I wouldn't have tasered them. I'd have actually thrown hooks up and pulled them down.
You know, and that's what's got to be done.
Go ahead, Mark.
This is another thing the lefties did. So there was people in Trafalgar Square on the monuments. So they were like, "Oh, yous have been complaining about that." No, we didn't complain about people climbing on them. We complained about people disrespecting them. So the English who were on that monument weren't disrespecting it. Right, they might have left some rubbish, but whoa, the lefties are worse for that. But they weren't disrespecting the monument. If anything, they're celebrating it. The game, the mental gymnastics these idiots play is just unreal. And luckily, only them band of fools believe any of this crap.
I want to get to the people that are actually funding all these runts that are doing this within the country.
Well, that's where you've got to start looking. Follow the money. How many times have I said that?
Go ahead, Mark.
There's always, I've been on a few protests and stuff, and every time there's always hundreds of signs pre-made.
Yeah.
And then they all get binned afterwards because we go find them and take pictures and like, hey, like that, you know what I mean? So who's funding all that?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Some people say it's Soros. George
As
Soros.
I said weeks ago, on the podcast, I said, how are these people getting from wherever they're coming from and travelling over 13 different countries to get to France to get over here with £8,000 in the back pocket?
Yeah.
How are they travelling through 13 countries with £8,000 or dollars or whatever it be, euros, in their back pocket?
Yeah.
Sleeping rough at night.
Yeah.
And not getting robbed.
So where are they coming from? Vietnam or something? 10,000 they've been spending. And then the French police have just been knifing the boats. Did not go down well.
And what are they going to do? They can't do anything.
They just wait for the next boat.
Yeah. Well, I'm calling it there. It's an interesting conversation. And yes, we are patriots. And no, we don't care about the lefties and the wokies and all the rest of that stuff. You know, Mr. McGuire, go shove it where the sun doesn't shine, as far as we're concerned. And if you don't like that, well, you know, we could always get into a ring with you, legitimately. We'll send in stats.
Not a problem. And if you don't like it, if you keep coming out with all certain stuff, so all you've got to do is look in the mirror. The Sunday mirror, actually, at the weekends.
I just mock these people, to be honest, because they don't quite understand the Streisand effect, do they?
No, they don't. I get you. I get you what you're saying. But anyway, shout outs, shout downs, anything you want to shout out or shout down, go ahead.
Well, it's a bit awkward today, actually, because I was offered sex today by a 26-year-old woman.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was to advertise.
Aged very quickly there.
I know, yeah, she's 26-year-old woman, it was. And I was to advertise some sort of kind of, bathroom cleaner or something on Facebook. Of course, I declined it because of my strong morals and my willpower, which is just as strong as Ajax. The super strong bathroom cleaner now available, scented with lemon or vanilla.
We knew that was coming. we could just tell. Go ahead, Mark. No. Anything from you, sir?
Seeing as we're feeling all patriotic, and yes, I'm proud to be English, I thought I'll tell some jokes about the French.
Go ahead.
So, it's been a while. The Frenchman walks into a library and asks the librarian, if he can check out a book about war. The librarian responds, "No, you'll lose it." Next one. Why is the French military always shocked when they lose a battle? Because electricity flows in the path of least resistance.
Hey!
Why did the French give the Statue of Liberty to America? Because they had no use for a statue with only one hand raised.
Yes.
And one more. How many French troops does it take to defend Paris? No one knows.
Because it's never been defended.
Oh, hang on. Can't leave the Germans out.
Go on.
A German went to France for a holiday, and here is the scene. French border staff. Occupation, German. No, just visiting. I'll leave them out.
Very good, very good. Wow, thank goodness that is all over. I was starting to get very, very uppity about certain things and what they're doing. I hate people attacking their own country and they won't leave. You know, you say to them, if you don't like it, get lost. You know, and they decide that they still want to stay. You know, I just... Cuckoo, yeah. Delulu. This...
Like watching a bad film, you just switch it off, don't you?
Yeah, well, you know, they shouldn't be given the oxygen of publicity. I said the breath of oxygen before. I don't know. I was just so annoyed. But anyway, it's time to go. So, say goodnight, Gazelle.
Good night, everybody. And thanks for listening. See you all soon.
Okay, Statsman.
Yes, I'll say a big goodbye to all our lovely listeners, and of course you two fine gentlemen, and all the English patriots out there who are proud to be English, proud to be white and all that stuff.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you hate other people.
No, that's quite right. It doesn't mean you hate other people, but you're proud to be white. That's fine.
Proud of our history, our country, our flag, everything. So suck it up, buttercups, and cry harder, because we'll just celebrate it more.
Yeah, and we'll annoy you even more if you go on Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, watch out.
Watch out, baby. All right. Okay. Well, I thought that went quite well, actually. I think that was okay. Oh, look at Trevor. He's on the phone. He must be talking to that girlfriend.
26, eh? Wow. She got any mates?